If this reading found you today, I feel like Spirit is speaking to someone who is in the middle of reclaiming their energy, because the overall message here feels like a shift between impulse and wisdom, between reacting from pressure and responding from intuition. And with the Hermit sitting on the bottom of the deck, this reading immediately carries introspective energy. This feels like withdrawal for a reason. Reflection, solitude, inner searching. Some of you may have been pulling back lately, emotionally, socially, energetically. And honestly, I don't think this is isolation in a negative sense. This feels intentional. It feels like your spirit creating distance so you can hear yourself more clearly. Because when life gets noisy, the Hermit appears to remind us that clarity is found within. And I think many of you are currently in a season of deep inner recalibration. You are learning what deserves your energy and what no longer does. The first card out is the Page of Wands, and immediately this feels like a spark, new inspiration, a fresh idea, curiosity returning, a desire to move towards something new. This card carries youthful, exploratory energy. It feels like possibility. And honestly, I think some of you are beginning to feel excited about your future again. After a period of heaviness or uncertainty, there's a renewed sense of creative energy here. You may be feeling pulled toward a new direction, a new project, a message you want to send, an opportunity you want to explore, or simply a stronger desire to reconnect with what makes you feel alive. And Spirit keeps showing me that this spark is important. Do not dismiss what excites your spirit right now, because often inspiration is intuition in motion. Then we move into the Seven of Wands, and this tells me that protecting this new energy is essential. This card is about boundaries, standing your ground, defending your peace, refusing to let outside noise disrupt your inner alignment. And honestly, I feel like this is where your growth is showing, because some of you are learning that not every thought, opinion, or external expectation deserves access to your energy. You are becoming more discerning, more selective, more protective of what you're building internally. And I need to say this clearly. Not everyone will understand your next chapter, and that's okay. The Seven of Wands reminds you that your path does not require universal approval. It requires your trust. Then we move into the Knight of Swords, and this shifts the energy dramatically because this card brings urgency, fast movement, mental intensity, decisive action. Something may be moving quickly around you, a conversation, a realization, an opportunity, a truth arriving suddenly. But honestly, I also feel a caution here. The Knight of Swords can sometimes represent acting too quickly, out of pressure, emotion, or the need for immediate answers. And Spirit keeps asking, are you moving from alignment or from urgency? That distinction feels very important. Because when people are rebuilding confidence or entering a new chapter, there can sometimes be a temptation to rush, to prove something, to force progress, to make quick decisions just to escape uncertainty. But this reading keeps emphasizing wisdom over reaction. Then we move into the Queen of Cups, and this is where the energy softens beautifully. This card is emotional intelligence, intuition, compassion, inner knowing. The Queen of Cups feels deeply aligned with the Hermit underneath this reading. Together, they tell me your greatest strength, right now, is your ability to feel deeply without losing yourself in what you feel. This is emotional maturity. Trusting your intuition, listening to your inner voice, allowing your heart to guide you without abandoning discernment. And honestly, I think some of you are learning how to trust your emotional wisdom in a completely new way. For a long time, you may have doubted your feelings, questioned your intuition, second-guessed what your spirit was trying to tell you. But this Queen of Cups says your inner knowing is becoming clearer. You do not need to force clarity. You only need to listen. Then we end with the King of Wands reversed. And this is where the reading gets very honest, because this card feels like misdirected energy. This could represent self-doubt disguised as hesitation, impulsiveness without alignment, ego-driven action, trying to control outcomes instead of trusting divine timing. For some of you, this could absolutely reflect another person, someone inconsistent, controlling, reactive, or energetically unstable. But honestly, for many of you, this feels internal. It feels like the part of you that wants to act from fear rather than faith. the part of you that feels pressure to have everything figured out immediately. And Spirit is asking you to notice where urgency may be pulling you away from your intuition. Because this reading is not about reckless action, it's about intentional action. The hermit beneath all of this reminds us that wisdom often asks for pause before movement, reflection before reaction, discernment before decision. And I think that's the core message here. You are receiving new inspiration. You are feeling the pull towards something more. Momentum is building. But Spirit is asking you not to let excitement become impulsiveness. Protect your energy. Trust your intuition. Move with intention. Because the Page of Wands says a new spark is here. The Seven of Wands says protect it. The Knight of Swords says movement is possible. The Queen of Cups says let intuition lead. And the King of Wands reversed warns against forcing what is not yet aligned. This feels like a very powerful lesson in energetic maturity. And honestly, I think many of you are right on the edge of a new chapter. But the way you enter it matters. This is not about moving fast for the sake of movement. It's about moving wisely. So if this reading resonated, take what connected and leave what didn't. But this genuinely feels like Spirit reminding you that your intuition is your greatest guide right now. The answers you're searching for are not outside of you. They're waiting in the quiet space where your inner wisdom becomes louder than your fear.